I think because of this, I must thank the organizers because of the sequence of presentation. The chicken presentation is happening after the egg presentation. तो इस इंडस्ट्री का जो सबसे बड़ा क्वेश्चन है, मुर्गी पहले आई या अंडा, वो आंसर आज हो गया है, that अंडा पहले आया. So it's a pleasure to be with you all. The topic is very interesting, marketing of chicken. Now, my objective today is not to give you any ready-made solutions or any strategies that you can straight away implement, because it's not my experience. I only have 2.5 years of experience. The stalwarts of industry, you all have spent long careers in poultry. Today, my objective is to share few successes, few case studies from other industries, which will help you perhaps to reflect, to introspect, and to take back some of the learnings from this to your respective companies, geographies, and whichever part of the poultry ecosystem you're part of. But to start with, one quiz question, and I know it's very difficult to get an answer from this large a group, but you can reflect for 10 seconds in your mind. ऐसा कौन सा खाना है इंडिया के घरों में जो कि mothers feel very happy if the kids have it and kids love the taste? I think you will get the right answer. So it's definitely chicken and paneer. I think these are the two products which nobody needs to sell into an Indian household, because everybody already has bought into it. And that's why, for this reason and others, I say that chicken is a marketeer's dream. Because if you think about marketing, what do you need? You need a large consumer need. I think we have it. You need a large market, and you need a product that fulfills that need. That is just the basics of marketing. And just to talk a little bit about it, I think you all know this, some of the people have talked about it. India just needs to consume more protein, and which will happen as it grows more affluent. There have been many, I think WhatsApp University teaches us that how deficient we are in protein consumption. We consume less than our global peers. So compared to any other country there, and you would see, I think, even sub-Saharan Africa, our protein consumption is one of the lowest. And that's something which we must work on as a country if we have to make this into a Viksit Bharat by 2047. And then again, you can perhaps argue with the numbers, it depends on some of the pricing, etc. But it is on a per gram basis one of the most affordable source of protein compared to anything else. And that is why I say that for a product like this, where you have a validated need, a large consumer need, you have a significantly large growing market, and it is something that's one of the most affordable compared to any other source. There is a very, very strong case for the industry to come together and drive value creation in this industry. And to think about it, and I think Mr. Bahadur Ali talked about it, I think as an industry, what can we do? I think how can we focus our energy versus rather than just competing with each other to kind of creating growth as an industry. What's an example of this? Let's play this video.
Thank you, sir. Hi, I'm Varun Patel's mom.
Yes, I know.
I hope Varun can face the fast bowler.
Mrs. Patel is prepared.
I know, but fast bowler, what if he gets injured? It's quite risky.
Bowler fast हो या slow, risk तो है. Out होने का या ball लगने का, दोनों.
I know, पर Varun?
आप mutual fund में invest करते हो?
Of course, since 2005. पर Varun?
Even mutual funds are subject to market risk. वहाँ भी तो नुकसान होने का risk होता है. What about that?
Sachin, mutual funds में उन्हीं को invest करना चाहिए जो risk लेने के लिए तैयार हो.
Mrs. Patel, I'm saying the same thing. Mutual fund हो या cricket, one should be ready to take the risk.
Good point.
म्यूचुअल फंड निवेश बाजार जोखिमों के अधीन है। योजना से जुड़े सभी दस्तावेजों को ध्यान।
How many of you have seen this campaign? I think this is one of the classic cases of how the industry came together and in a very short period of time doubled the size of the industry, and it's a campaign that's remembered by everyone. If you go on the website of this mutual fund Sahi Hai, you will find that each and every mutual fund company is a member of this association and has come together to kind of drive this kind of a growth. That's a template for something for us to look at. Then I think the other thing, how do you drive demand, I think is through building brand love, building love for your product. And here, I think what I have seen from my experience, a lot of times in, let's say, in social media, etc., our industry spends a lot of time talking about facts, talking about protein, etc. But ultimately, in marketing, brand love gets created through emotions, through connecting people with their values, beliefs. And this is one example, I think, after a period of time, Surf, the Daag Achhe Hai campaign, I think that flew in the face of any conventional wisdom that you are, as a product, as a brand, you're talking about something that you're supposed to solve. And I think they did amazingly well with this campaign, and I think it helped them become #1 brand. Again, Apple, in their ads, they don't talk about so many megapixel camera. They don't talk about these are the features. They don't talk about some of the very nice, fancy electronic language. I think they talk about human values. And this was one of the campaign where they showed pictures clicked by real humans on real iPhone onto their billboards and worked extremely well. And this is again one of examples, and I know some people are here from KFC, I think, but talk so well about how to market your brand.
Little hands got little lands from home, and those folded arms forsake my broken charms. Ride these waves, the storm is way too hard. These precious things, I hold them close to my heart. When you give some love, you get some in return. So just give a little and get some love in return. In return.
Yeah. So this is when you connect with people in their moments of emotions. And this is, by the way, we saw it even in our company when we were doing a lot of consumer research. Every time the homemaker, so the family is remembered the special occasion during the week when they come together, and the whole family has chicken, I think. So that's something to think about, as that are we relying more on the facts or on emotions in our respective companies to create this love. And why it is very important, because the brands which have very high brand love, they survive headwinds and actually thrive even in spite of the headwinds. Nestle is a great example. Within such a big brand, multi-thousand crore brand, faced a huge sort of crisis, went into a free fall, but within 5 years recovered all of that volume because it's loved by Indians. And then, you know, love is not only the only sufficient thing, I think, as you need to make the overall proposition commercially attractive. And what does that mean? I think as a brand, as a product, as an industry, these three things make a brand or a product commercially attractive. So think about it in your respective businesses. Are you doing it? Provide choice, drive affordability, and add value. And I'll give you a few examples of this. You know, Mercedes, same brand, It's available in different products, different price points, the same brand. Gives choice, creates that commercial attraction to its brand. Coca-Cola, the company I work for, the same product allows you to access it at different price point, in different occasions, and it's for everyone, and it's the same product. I think that's something to think about. And then this is another. The product is the same, different variants, same price point. This is what choice is about. This is how you provide choice to consumers and then build multiple occasions to have your product. So something to think about. I think this is right now being picked up from international this thing. But can you have products, chicken, and it will happen. I think it's a matter of time, but how can we accelerate that journey, provide this choice to drive adoption? The second is being affordable. I think we all remember this case of how this sachet transformed the personal care and shampoo industry. Being affordable, one of the key metrics for driving commercial attractiveness. This is another example, a brand which we all love. For many, many years, they've not left the 5 rupee price point. They've allowed people to access their brand at that same price point. Again, something to think about, that in our respective places, are we thinking in this way when our commercial decisions are being taken? And this is another example of something which a Red Bull, which was at 100 plus price point, came at 20. It is now one of the most successful drinks that in the last 10 years in India. And then the last thing is add value. And this again is something, the example of Tata Salt, where a multi-year partnership with the government. We all remember this whole iodine, how they worked on this, removing iodine deficiency from their, and by adding iodine to the product. That's something to think about. Adding value, another example, I think, which drove the adoption of bank accounts, brought so many people into banking by this UPI adoption. It has now brought so many people into the banking system. That's a classic case of value addition to the same product. And this again, some of the, I think, and this is an example from closer home in India. Now we are seeing in eggs, things like, omega-3, DHA. That's the kind of value addition which will allow different people to access and buy into your brand and product. It's not going to be a very easy journey, but it is something that done over the years will result into success. So now, that was the one part which is about creating brand value. But now creating brand value and protecting it are two sides of the same coin and have to be done differently. So when I said you use emotions, you use values, you use beliefs to sort of create the brand and build brand love, you use facts to fight bad PR and fight the myths. And these are, I think you all are aware that we see these kind of bad PR in this industry more often than not and more than any other industry. Three things, I think, while you build brand, you build with emotions, but you fight bad PR with facts. And I think that's something which Maggie did. They brought in that at the time of crisis, the kind of fact, this thing, and went public with it. They didn't shy away from putting it out there in the public domain. I think we should also not shy away from doing it. We shouldn't just do it on social media. We should go ahead and in mass media. Again, that's another example. Using icons, using symbols to create trust. And Cadbury's was one example where I think in spite of that kind of a crisis, they went through, they bounced back and used an icon to build that trust in their brand. And fight at court. I think if it's your product, your brand which is under threat, you don't give an inch and I think go all after the people who are kind of attacking your brand or attacking your product. That's the way to protect your brand and kind of make sure that you're ring fencing it from any kind of negative and bad PR. In closing, I would just say, I think within this livestock industry, there are these two classic examples of people coming together and creating iconic movements, the milk consumption and the egg. I think now is the time for this industry to source inspiration from that and then make sure that we start to work on marketing, branding, and creating the brand love for chicken.